And welcome everyone to today's presentation, which is based on a question that Jean-Paul, I think, sent me. So let me share my screen. This is the question Jean-Paul asked. Can we use isn't it or no as a universal tag for all questions? I think the question comes because in French, I think you can say isn't it for all tags, and in Spanish, no. But I'm afraid in English, there is no universal tag that works with all questions. We must create a tag for each case. It's a little complicated. So let's go through the rules and some revision of special tags as well. So starting with the two main rules for regular question tags. The first rule is you need to add a negative tag to a positive statement and a positive tag to a negative statement. While we're here, let me correct this so we don't see a mistake to a negative statement. So, for example, if our statement is they have had a good time, the tag is haven't they rather than have they. And if we have a negative statement, she has never been so angry, the tag is has she, positive, not hasn't she. Now notice I have underlined never so that you remember that a negative statement can be with a negative verb like she hasn't been, but also with a negative word like never or no longer. So be attentive that the statement needs to have a negative idea, and if it does, then your tag is positive. So that's rule number one. Let's look at rule number two. You need to use the auxiliary verb of the exact same tense as your statement. For example, if we have the same sentence, they have had a good time, the tag is haven't they, not didn't they. I noticed this as a common mistake, thinking, oh, it's a past action, finished action, use any auxiliary in the past. No, you have to be very strict and stick to the exact same tense. Present perfect, they have had, the tag is with the auxiliary of present perfect, haven't they. Or for example, another one that I see commonly is she isn't going to quit. Going to future, the tag is not will she, another future tense, but is she. So be very strict with the auxiliary verb that you use. So these are the two important rules for regular question tags, but I have a few notes to mention to you. Note one is that you can use a non-contracted negative tag, but it sounds very formal. So for the sentence, they have had a good time, you could say, have they not? But it's very formal. I would avoid this kind of formulation. And that's why when we have a statement with I am, we often use aren't I as the contraction. Amn't doesn't exist. So you could say, I'm right, am I not? But again, it's very, very formal. It's better to always say, I'm right, aren't I? So that's the first note. The second note, you must always use a pronoun in a tag. So if you have a name, proper name, or noun, like Jimmy has eaten, don't say hasn't Jimmy. You must use a pronoun. In this case, for Jimmy, it's he. Hasn't he? Now, then we have some indefinite nouns like everyone, someone, nobody, etc. With these, you need to use the genderless pronoun they. For example, everyone has eaten, haven't they? And that's the positive one. And the negative sentence would be no one has eaten, have they, right? I have one more note, and that is, you may sometimes, not, it's rare, but you may rarely hear a positive tag after a positive statement. And if you hear that, the speaker is expressing a strong emotion. For example, if you hear, he thinks he's the boss, does he? The person is angry. That expresses anger. Or if you hear, she's having a baby, is she? Again, that's with surprise. So you have positive, positive, and that is a very rare case, but you may come across it. Now, the very important thing to mention about tags in general is intonation. You can have a rising intonation or a falling intonation. If your tag has a rising intonation, it's a real question and you expect an answer. You wait for an answer. For example, you are enjoying this movie, aren't you? It's a real question. You don't know, you're not sure, and maybe the answer comes, not really. Can we watch something else? That's an actual question that requires an answer because your intonation rose. I'll read it again. You are enjoying this movie, aren't you? It goes up. Right? Now, compare that with a falling intonation, which means it's not a real question. You don't really want an answer. You are pretty sure what the answer is. You just expect maybe a confirmation. For example, you aren't enjoying this movie, are you? Let's watch something else. You're right, it's a bit too violent for me. So in this case, you can see the person is not enjoying the movie. You just want a confirmation from them. So I'll read that intonation again. So notice that it will fall. You aren't enjoying this movie, are you? There's absolutely no rising, no question form in this, question intonation in this. Right. So having clarified that, we just need to finish with some special tags. One group of special tags are for orders and requests. So you can make an order or order someone to do or not to do something, and there you will use will. For example, give me a hand, will you? And don't feed the cat, will you? And here, because it's an order, the intonation is falling. You're not really asking anything. You're telling someone to do or not to do something. Give me a hand, will you? Don't feed the cat, will you? Down. If you want, you can make a positive order into a request by using a polite request modal verb, and also maybe adding the word please. For example, you can say, give me a hand, please, could you? Or give me a hand, please, would you? And that's now more of a request than an order, right? And the final group that we have to look at as for special tags is suggestions and offers. With this group, use shall we and shall I. So if you're making a suggestion for the group, it's let's get started, shall we? Or let's not jump to conclusions, shall we? And now here, for suggestions, your intonation is more of a rising intonation. You kind of wait for everyone to say, yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, you really need an answer saying, yeah, we agree with your suggestion. So let's get started, shall we? Up. Let's not jump to conclusions, shall we? Up. And you can also use shall I if you're offering to do something, and this only happens in like positive offers. For example, let me give you a hand, shall I? Again, you rise because you wait for their answer, yes please, or no, I'm okay. You can also use I'll give you a hand, shall I? And again, you're offering to give the person a hand like that with the Right, that's the end of this presentation on question tags. I hope it's clarified how to create question tags and some of the special cases that you need to be careful with. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. For more on this topic, click here. Remember to also check out my complete online course and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and happy studies!